All right, well, so much for my 4-day winning streak that I was just telling you guys about in my last couple videos. Today is Tuesday, September 17th, and today I made some mistakes. So that's what we are going to talk about in this video. To start off, let me just pull up my pre-market plan for you guys. All right, so overnight we rallied up. We have all-time high at 5,721. And basically my thesis for the day is I would not be looking to be a buyer of the breakout of the all-time high. I wanted to first look to be a seller. All right, so what I wanted to see today was a rally into the all-time high, and then I wanted to see buyers become trapped, and I wanted to short, obviously, targeting 5703 to 5698, and this was like our previous range high. Going into this session that we had FOMC tomorrow, which means typically when there's an important news event, you can expect volatility to be a lot less than you'd want to see for scalping. So I knew this going into the session, and I knew that this wouldn't be the best conditions to trade today, most likely. And yeah, let me just get into our mistakes. First trade was at 9:37. I'm on Easter time now at 5718. Ignore this on all of my trades because my trade of 8 is still synced up to the central time. This one is accurate, but the rest of my trades are an hour behind, so it shows the wrong entries, but I promise I'm not lying. All right, so this is my bookmap screenshot of my first entry. So I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, I folded today. Like I knew I shouldn't have taken any trades unless they were like screaming at me, and none of these trades are doing that. Like all of these trades are me putting entries on because I want to make money and have another green day in a row, straight up. So that's what I'm kind of outlining here. Lost trade, we got short at 5718, and basically what happens is we open up, we broke down a few points, reclaimed all the way up, formed a little high day, then immediately broke the low a day and made a new low a day, and then immediately came right back up above the low a day. So normally when I see this happen, I look at it as a low a day fail, and then it would basically make me want to go long and not short. Mind you, at this time VIX is doing like positive 0.5%, like nothing crazy, but I just felt like a sell-off was in the air and I was way too greedy for it. So it's funny because I was looking for trapped buyers at the all-time high. That was my plan, to get short, right? And here you can see some decent aggressive selling volume just getting absorbed kind of at the low a day. And yeah, so my problem is what happens is we get the reclaim of the low a day, right? And then you get this like 3-point quick sell-off. Like I wouldn't even call it a sell-off, just like a 3-point move downwards quickly. And then this is when I enter. Like whenever I see this, I go boom, I enter, and then I put my stop right there at the last like local high, if you want to call it that. And then I obviously get stopped out in around 2 minutes ish. So that was the first loss. I mean, the good thing is I'm good with controlling my risk and not like risking too much in terms of a point perspective, but terrible entry, and that's the case for the next 3 entries as well. So like I said, a lot of these times are wrong. So like these entry points you're seeing on TradeZilla are probably not accurate, but I screenshot this. These are from the replay data, and this is the exact times that I enter. So obviously the second entry is even worse than the first one because now we have aggressive volume not getting rewarded and not breaking the low a day, still getting absorption on the DOM. And like I said, I'm just like way too eager to get short, and I'm not being patient at all, and I'm just trading with bad habits right now. That's what I'm doing, because I've already admitted to you guys, like there's no reason to get short right here other than speculating that you think it's gonna sell off. Like there's nothing that I see here that says to go short. In fact, this is a red flag. I wouldn't call this one, only reason I'm not counting this one a red flag is because I literally entered on this little push down. Once again, that's like my biggest problem right now, is I kind of get suckered into these like 3.4 point moves. Like whenever I see volume come in like that, I just get, I guess, FOMO. I guess you just call it FOMO. Like I don't want to miss the leg down. But I would say this is a red flag. You see this large aggressive selling at the low, yet we're failing to move down. And then plus you can see just a little bit of absorption right there. So another shitty entry, and basically just me forcing a trade. All right, so that was entry number 2. Entry number 3 is the same thing. Okay, honestly, at this point, I think these times are actually accurate, but who cares, because I'm showing you my entries anyway. But yeah, so all right, so if you guys have been following me, you know that one of my previous issues in the past was re-entering less than 2 minutes of stopping out with the same thesis. So look, we stop out of the last trade at 9:43, and then you see I'm right back in less than a minute, or just around a minute, right, with the same thesis. And once again, it's worse than before, because now we have now we have another time with decent volume failing to break the low day. Still, we got the same absorption situation going on here. And we made a higher high and seem to be putting in a higher low right here. So once again, first 3 entries are straight up me just way too eager to put a trade on and make some money, right? So there's 3. And normally I would say after 3 I'm done, but I moved away from that whole mentality because I believe that if you see a setup, you should put something on. These first 3 trades, there was no setup and they did not deserve an entry, and that's my fault. That's like a personal problem I need to fix. But I was just like, I was just basically saying to myself, if I see something that's worth it, I'm going to put it on. So here we get a break even finally. Let me see when I stopped out of my last trade. Stop out at 45, and then the next one we enter at 9:48, so that's not as bad. But let's just see. So at this point, I know that VIX was down like 1%. So my thesis for this one was this large buying. You could see 215 lots, 250 lots, 135, and we're not breaking high day. So that was my only reason to enter this. And then obviously I entered as soon as I seen a 3-point move downwards, and I got my stop right at the high. And that's how I operate. Now this one actually went in my favor, 9 points, I believe. Yeah, let's see if the running P&L is on here. No, this is wrong. But yeah, so we actually did go down. Let's just check on the chart. So that would have been right around this area. So yeah, we were short at, what was it? I was short at 721. So here I'm short right at my cursor, as you can see right there. And we sell off down to 711. So yeah, just around 9-10 points in profit, whatever. And as soon as that happens, stops at break even. So we got that at least. This entry was better than the other ones because I at least had something in my favor. I'm not saying it was good at all, but the large aggressive buying and the fail to break the high, that was the reason why I entered that one. We're not done yet. 10:04, we got stopped out of that. I believe I waited a while for this other one. So yeah, I waited like 15 minutes after for this one. This one's a loss, and this is where we finally start seeing our plan start to play out. Now, this one I definitely entered too early, but here is what I was looking for today in the first place. So we finally make it to high day and all-time highs. and you can see we're starting to get some absorption at the high day and all-time highs. And these are basically, I'm reading this as these buyers are going to become trapped if they get put under pressure. And obviously I entered when they kind of were under pressure. So my whole plan today was to find trapped participants at the high day and then play a sell-off. So my mouse is fucking, all right, fuck it. So yeah, that was my reason for entry there. Once again, it was early. Like, this amount of absorption is nothing, like, it's something, but it's nothing like crazy at all. And I should have been more patient with this one, but at least it had some sort of entry thesis that was proper. And obviously my stop was at the high, which was 32.50 at the time, or I guess not. It was actually at 32.50, and that was right. So yeah, my stop's actually not even at the high. It was at 32.50. So that's an error on my end there. Stopped out of that one. Let me see. So we stop out of that trade at 10:24 in our final trade of the day. All right, so I guess I forgot to drop this one in my TradeZella, but this is the screenshot from my entry on the final. This is the screenshot from the final entry. So same thesis. I'm reading this as trap traders here. Can't break the high a day. And yeah, so I took that short, and I think my stop was actually at 33.50 this time. And this one went in my favor as well. So we entered at 10:27. That should have been right around in this candle right here, 10:27. So we nearly get stopped out by like 75 cents or 3 ticks, and then we sell off. I believe I got in at like 29 or something, right? So my entries at 29.75, which was right here. Of course, we get in on that volume down, and we were up. At one point, we were up about 8.5 points or so. So once again, we moved our stop to break even and stopped out that one. And that is how my day has gone so far. At least we're still up like 2,000 on the funded account. But today I made a lot of errors, and it sucks because I was coming into this session actually knowing that the conditions were probably not going to be favorable and that I should stay away from everything. But I just guess I couldn't help myself from throwing 3 entries on that were basically criteria-less, if you will. And I mean, the last 2 were, I would call these good losses. I mean, this one wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. And at least I broke even on 2 of these. But first 3 were absolutely awful. And that's what I get for not being patient. So I hope this video helps you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.